Hi, I'm Robert with Ducks Spray Equipment. I'll be walking you through setting your packing pressure on any Ducks automatic spray gun. This includes manifold auto fan, manifold manual fan, and Ducks standard automatic manual or auto fan. Tools you'll need to complete the job are any flathead screwdriver or Ducks packing driver, gun lube, Ducks packing pressure gauge, and a 10mm nut driver. So disassembling the gun to get to the packing nut to adjust the pressure, you'll remove the needle, air cap, fluid tip, and the front end of the gun needs to come off this part so that the needle will slide through and not be obstructed by the fluid tip, and then the rear housing. And now you're to your packing nut, which you adjust with your Ducks packing driver or a flathead screwdriver. Okay, so now that you have the gun apart, you can inspect your needle. Make sure there's no scoring or divots on the thickest part of the needle, and inspect the tip, obviously, of the needle. Make sure it's not bent. If it all checks out, you're ready to set the packing. But at this point, important point to note is that you do an overall inspection, whether you're doing this as a rebuild, setting your packing, or you're just swapping out packing, or you're just doing preventative maintenance, cleaning, readjusting your packing. Do an overall inspection. Make sure the O-rings are good on the back of the gun. Make sure the O-ring's good in your trigger piston. Your springs are good. Make sure there's lube on your O-ring on your trigger piston. Make sure there's lube on the O-ring of the needle. And if all this is good, now you're ready to set your packing. You want to take your gun lube and apply a thin layer on the thickest part of the needle where it rides through the packing. Insert your needle into your packing. Take your Ducks pressure gauge and adjust to 4 pounds is what we're trying to achieve here on your pressure gauge. So that came in at 5, so I just have to back the nut off a little bit. Again, with a Ducks packing driver or a flathead screwdriver. Backed it off too much, that was 3 pounds. Just tightened up the nut up a little bit. Alright, 4 pounds of pressure on the needle. So I'm ready to reinstall. I take my gun lube, make sure there's lube on the O-ring and on the thick part of the needle. Make sure there's lube on the O-ring of the triggering piston. Reinstall your piston housing. Place your fluid tip on. Insert your needle. And on your air cap, make sure your air cap index pin is lined up with the slots in the back that are machined into the back of the air cap. Make sure that lines up for the correct orientation that you want to spray at. And that's how you set your ducks automatic spray gun packing.